Divinely revealed. 8 miraculous steps for prophetic preparation before the October Supermoon 2025. In the heart of St. Andrew S., an excitement buzzed through the air like golden sunlight piercing through the dark clouds. Emma, a devoted single mother, felt an electrifying chill dance up her spine during a prayer meeting one fateful evening. She stood before her church family, her voice trembling with urgency. "I've received a revelation," she proclaimed, her words echoing in the chapel. 8 miraculous steps to prepare our spirits for the October supermoon of 2025. The crowd's eyes glazed over with a mixture of awe and skepticism. As Emma shared her vision, a warm glow enveloped her. She described how they must cleanse their hearts, strengthen their faith, and unify as a community. With each step, whispers of hope filled the air like autumn leaves swirling in a gentle breeze. Tears glistened in the eyes of those willing to believe, while a heavy heart lingered in the midst. Mark, her brother, sat at the back, arms crossed, his laughter still echoing like dark clouds over a sunny day. He couldn't help but scoff at Emma's fervor, his cynicism a weight that threatened to bring down her soaring dreams. "Is this what the chapel has come to?" Mark jeered, shaking his head as Emma's radiant face paled slightly. His doubts seemed to cast shadows over her light, and yet, deep inside, she felt something divine pull her forward. Regardless of Mark's ridicule, Emma rallied support from her friends in the chapel, devout souls who had once weathered storms by her side. They created a vibrant tapestry of collective prayer, reflecting on the 8 steps Emma believed would usher in divine healing. Each step shimmered with expectancy, filling Emma with renewed vigor. Yet shadows crept around her as trials erupted. Whispers of discord within the village grew louder. Was her faith enough to bridge the widening gaps? One evening, under the cerulean sky, Emma watched the sun dip low, a warm wave of frustration crashing over her. Desperation tugged at her heart as her fervent prayers felt like they were swallowed by silence. "Lord, is my faith enough?" she cried. Then, as if responding to her heart's yearning, the village began to witness inexplicable signs. Whispers of healing resonated through their homes. Reconciliations formed like dew on grass. They came together like a horde of fireflies punctuating the night, and Emma knew the supermoon was closer than ever. But would it transform Mark's hardened heart? As the celestial orb approached, Emma could feel the air thick with both expectation and apprehension. She decided to host a prayer vigil in the chapel, inviting the community to join in heartfelt supplication under its glow. Her heart raced. This was at the moment of divine revelation, was almost here. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. The night of the supermoon arrived, draping St. Andrew S. in a silvery glow that made the earth shimmer with anticipation. Emma stood at the chapel entrance, warmth radiating from her heart as she welcomed the villagers. They gathered, hands grasped tighter than ever, the air thick with prayer's murmur unlike anything she had known. As Emma led them, the night grew electric. Hushed whispers flickered around her, stories of hope exchanged, burdens lifted. Each prayer rose higher, reaching the heavens as they sought divine favor. Yet hanging over them was the weight of unanswered questions. Would Mark embrace the very faith he scoffed at? In that moment, something extraordinary happened. A beam of light swirled down from the moon, brushing against Mark. Emma's breath caught in her throat as she watched the tension shift in his face. The night wasn't over. The mysteries lingered like shimmering stars, waiting to be unveiled. What would the supermoon reveal? What transformations awaited their hearts? The air crackled with an energy that felt palpable, as though heaven itself had descended upon them. The silvery moon illuminated the chapel, casting shadows that danced in rhythm with the flickering candles. Emma's heart raced. A deep longing rose within her. Was her brother finally ready for the very truth he had shunned? She glanced at Mark, whose face was shrouded in disbelief. Yet, with the moonlight cascading down upon him, something softened within his expression. Emma felt a surge of hope, warm and comforting, washing over her like gentle waves lapping at the shore. "Let us pray," she exclaimed, raising her hands in surrender to the divine. The congregation echoed her call, their voices forming a symphony of hope that rang through the night. Emma led them, guiding their hearts to open wide, inviting God's presence to envelop them. With each prayer that poured forth, she felt the air thicken with a miraculous weight. It was as if their words grew wings and ascended to the heavens, carrying their hopes, fears, and unspoken burdens. Hands clasped tightly together, she could sense a shift in the atmosphere, a readiness for transformation. "Lord, we gather beneath this supermoon seeking your light," Emma prayed, her voice trembling, yet resolute. "We ask for healing in our hearts. Let this night be a turning point for us." All her words hung in the air like a prayerful incense, lifting hearts and igniting spirits. Among the gathered, tears were flowing freely. Old wounds began to heal. Relationships once fractured began sealing themselves with grace. Emma could see the joy crossing the faces of her friends, their spirits intertwining like vines reaching towards the light. Even the cynicism that had clung to Mark began to tremble, uncertain against the power of collective faith. "Lord, if it's your will, reveal yourself," Emma cried out, her heart aching for her brother, desperate for him to feel this divine presence. Then, as if the heavens themselves had heard her plea, a soft whisper broke through the silence. Mark staggered back, startled by the sensation like a sweet breeze brushing against his skin. It stirred something deeply buried in his heart. Was it warmth? Was it conviction? Emma held her breath, riveted by the possibility unfolding before her. Mark's voice broke through the air, shaky yet strong. "I don't know what I'm feeling, but this is different." The congregation hushed, leaning in, their breaths held tight with anticipation. "Yes, brother," Emma called, her heart pounding. "Open yourself to it. Let the light in. Let it transform you." Mark's expression turned pensive. He gazed harder at the moon, the golden hue illuminating like a beacon of hope. Maybe this night holds more than I believe." His voice trailed off, uncertainty and wonder battling for supremacy. In that moment, the air thickened, crackling with anticipation. Emma sensed the tangible possibilities swirling around them. Would Mark finally embrace the light and love Nicole had so often shared? Was this the moment they had all been waiting for? A gentle wind began to sweep through the chapel, wrapping around each heart. The light from a supermoon pulsed like a heartbeat, resonating deep within their souls. It was undeniable. Transformation beckoned. And as Mark took a step toward Emma, something in the air shifted even further. Every eye turned to him. Every heart held breath. What would happen next? Would he take the plunge, casting aside doubt as he stepped into faith? The mysteries of the night lingered, woven into the fabric of their realities, uncertainty, faith, and miracles waiting to intertwine. Would this supermoon illuminate a new path for Mark? The night, thick with divine promise, held its secrets close. What awaited the community as they stood on the edge of something extraordinary? A hush fell over the congregation as Mark hesitated, caught between hesitation and faith, like a bird perched on the edge of a branch, unsure whether to take flight. The chapel, alive with expectation, held its collective breath, waiting for the spark of transformation to ignite. Emma's heart surged with compassion. She reached out a trembling hand, a silent plea that communicated her unwavering support. "Take that step, brother. You're not alone. We're all here with you," she whispered, her voice a balm against the storm of uncertainty swirling within him. Mark closed his eyes briefly, seeking clarity amidst the noise of doubt. Images of his past flickered in his mind. Times he had turned his back on faith, dismissing the love and light Nicole once radiated. But tonight felt different. The supermoon had wrapped its luminosity around deep-seated fears, illuminating hidden corners of his heart. As he opened his eyes, they fell upon the faces of his loved ones. Each one glowed with encouragement, their faith serving as a tangible weight pressing down on his heart, urging him to choose courage over insecurity. Is this the night I finally let go? He wondered, his voice barely audible, as if he spoke a sacred thought rather than mere words. Yes, cried an elder from the back, her wrinkled hands raised in steady reverence. Yes, this is your night, Mark. A sudden gust of wind swept through the chapel, rustling banners, and carrying with it the faint sound of angelic laughter, a gentle reminder that they were not alone in this moment. Emma felt an electric thrill. Feel it, Mark. That's the spirit, she encouraged, feeling a rush of warmth radiate from her heart. This is your chance to surrender to the unfathomable love that awaits you. Mark's knee trembled. He took a faltering step, then another, each one growing stronger. With each advance, memories of fear began to dissolve, replaced by the sweet fragrance of hope. Emma watched in rapturous joy as a flicker of determination sparked in her brother's eyes. God, if you're truly there, reveal yourself to me. Mark's plea emerged as both an invocation and an invitation, echoing through the chapel like the ringing of a bell calling the faithful home. As he uttered those words, the room seemed to lighten. Suddenly, brilliant light streamed into the chapel, cascading like shimmering rain. Gasps echoed as the congregation witnessed a breathtaking sight, an ethereal glow surrounding Mark, enveloping him in divine warmth. It was not just the breathtaking beauty of the moment. It was the palpable presence of God, drawing near as if to cradle him in love. Mark stood in awe, tears spilling unbidden down his cheeks. His heart raced. This was more than an epiphany. It was a resurrection of his spirit. In that shimmer, he felt burdens lift, chains break, and an invitation to begin anew. Praise God, Emma cried, her voice infused with jubilation. The congregation erupted into applause, shouting words of affirmation and encouragement. Embrace it, Mark. Let it flow through you. As the light reached its peak intensity, Mark stretched out his arms, feeling the weightlessness of fear dissolve into joy. He began to sway, a movement inspired by the swell of the God-breathed moment surrounding him. I believe, Lord. I believe, he proclaimed, a bold declaration rising from deep within. Yet, as the crowd cheered, another pulse of energy shifted through the room. It was a new sensation, an undertow of expectation. As quickly as the warmth enveloped Mark, the light began to wane, retreating to the corners of the chapel. A stillness settled like a gentle fog, and Emma sensed a deeper calling beckoning just beneath the surface. What new revelations did the fading light hold? Would Mark find the strength to sustain this newfound faith, or would shadows of doubt creep back? The night still held secrets in its folds, ready to unveil more profound mysteries waiting to be discovered in their midst. With hearts expectant, each member of the congregation felt the stirrings of something deeper within. What awaited them now as they surrendered to the quiet whisper of faith in the lingering night? Mark stood still, the echoes of his declaration reverberating in the thick air. The warmth of the divine presence still lingered around him like the embrace of a long-lost friend. But as the light receded, he felt a new kind of tug in his spirit, an invitation to walk forward in faith, no matter the uncertainties waiting in the shadows. Emma, recognizing the internal battle that flickered behind her brother's eyes, took a step closer. You taking a leap, Mark? She said, her tone gentle but firm. What you felt wasn't a one-time moment. It's the start of something transformative. Keep your heart open. He nodded slowly, feeling the weight of her words settle within him. But what if it all fades away? The doubts, they come creeping back, Emma. His voice trembled, fear gnawing at the edges of his newfound hope. Doubt is only an invitation to seek more, she replied with an unwavering smile. The more you embrace the light, the less power the shadows will have over you. As if responding to this exchange, the stillness in the chapel seemed to pulse with a renewed energy. The candles flickered and the soft melody of a hymn began to rise from the congregation, weaving itself around them like a comforting shawl. The familiar tune cradled Mark's heart, reminding him of the beauty in vulnerability. In the back, an elderly man raised his hands high. Let the fire of the Spirit burn bright. We are here, Mark. Together we can rise. His words ignited a spark throughout the room, drawing everyone into a collective embrace of faith. Warmth washed over Mark again, and he felt tears welling in the corners of his eyes. The urge to run from his fears began to fade. I want to know, Lord. I want to feel your presence guiding me every step, he exclaimed, surrendering to the moment. Suddenly, a gentle hush fell over the room again, but this time it was accompanied by an all-encompassing silence. The crowd held their breath, sensing that something profound lingered just beneath the surface, waiting to break through. Then, out of the quiet, a voice emerged soft and penetrating. You are not alone, Mark. The journey ahead is filled with steps that will lead you to deeper revelations. It was a woman at the front, her eyes sparkling with divine light. But listen, each step requires unwavering faith and courage. What steps? What are signs? Mark asked, the weight of anticipation pulling him closer to her. Each word hung heavy in the air, charged with expectation. Open your heart, and you shall see. She lifted her hands, and the candle flames danced higher, illuminating the faces in the congregation like the dawn breaking. Mark felt resonances stir within him, anointed movements of faith born of pure trust. His surroundings quivered with possibilities. His mind raced. Could it be? Could he find the strength to embrace not just light, but the journey ahead, regardless of what it would ask of him? The woman continued, her voice now deeper, reverberating through the hall. An awakening is set to unfold. Your willingness to walk forward will lead you to discoveries and purposes you've yet to dream of. As she spoke, Mark felt his heart quicken. He could almost glimpse the road ahead, a path brightened by faith, lined with challenges but also miracles. This could be the moment of divine revelation, the time when God's plan unfolded beautifully before him. Unexpectedly, thoughts of his past clawed at him, memories of missed opportunities and silent struggles. But he refused to weigh himself down. Instead, he took a breath, grounding himself in the worship enveloping him. Will you trust? The woman asked, holding his gaze, her voice a soft but clear command. I will, Mark vowed, new strength thrumming through his veins. The chapel erupted in an eruption of joy, a blend of voices, hands in the air, affirmations echoing around him like choir notes in a sacred symphony. In that electrifying moment, Mark sensed the most profound truth of all. Every step moving forward would be built on faith, wrapped in a community of love. But in the whispering depths of the still air, an underlying question surfaced, lingering. As the joyous sounds carried on, what lay truly ahead on this journey? What steps awaited him in this divine unfolding of purpose? The night felt pregnant with uncharted possibilities, awaiting their revelation. As the congregation buzzed with fervor, a pulsating energy filled the air. Each heart beat in rhythm, a symphony of faith, love, and possibility. Mark stood still, his eyes wide, absorbing the atmosphere, a palpable reminder of the divine invitation that hung in the air. Emma's hand found his arm, steadying him. Look around, Mark, she whispered, her voice blending with the hymn that enveloped them. This is the body of Christ. Together, we're stronger. He glanced at the faces around him, some filled with tears of joy, others with broad smiles of hope. Each face held a story, a testament to the power of faith in action. There was something beautiful in this gathering, a deep current of shared experience and commitment to a journey higher than themselves. Can you feel it? Emma asked, her gaze sparkling. Yes, he breathed. Each pulse of the music resonated within him, and something deep inside began to shift. It was as if the whispers of his spirit were finally finding a voice. "Your path starts now," the woman continued, her presence still radiating that warm light. "When the skies darken with uncertainty, the stars of purpose will guide your way." Mark closed his eyes, letting her words sink deep into his spirit. What was this mysterious pathway? What would it demand of him? "Mark," Emma's voice pulled him back. "Think about what you want from this journey. Do you desire healing, clarity, purpose?" With every question, the thoughts swirled in his mind, teasing out desires he had hidden for far too long. Yes, he wanted healing. He wanted to be free of the past that haunted him. He wanted clarity in his own purpose, a direction in life that felt fulfilling. As he opened his eyes, the woman moved closer. "What will you surrender, Mark? In order to receive, you must be willing to give." The tension within shifted, battling the enormity of that challenge. He felt warmth gathering in his chest. "I will surrender my fears," he announced, the words spilling forth as if already known. "I will let go of the past." "Yes, and that is just the beginning," she encouraged. "Each step you take will unveil the next. Trust leads to understanding, understanding to peace, and peace often births the miraculous." Her words ignited a flame of determination. He could see it now, the path stretching out before him, beckoning him onward, filled with the possibility of miracles. Yet, even within the rising hope, the contemplative silence draped over him again. What steps would it take for transformation to unfold? What did walking in faith really mean? "Let your heart be your compass, Mark," the woman urged, sensing his contemplation. "With each step you take, more will be revealed. Do not rush to answers. Let faith lead and trust the process." Sensing the weight of her declaration, the whole chapel forced their attention towards him. The warmth encircled him like an embrace, fellow believers ready to support him on this new journey. Their collective optimism seemed to crackle through the air, and he drew strength from it. He took a deep breath, the scent of burning candles and blooming faith grounding him. "I'm ready," he finally shouted, heart pounding against his ribs. Faces lit up with joy, their affirmation pulsing in waves. The room swelled with energy, a living testament of hope that resonated deep within his soul. The woman smiled, her eyes now shimmering. "Then go forth, and may each step uncover what God has woven into your destiny." In that moment, tears streamed down Mark's face, tears not just of release, but of an awakening of a new purpose. A chorus of voices filled the chapel, echoing words of encouragement, lifting him higher. But in the exhilaration of this declaration, a subtle voice lingered within what lay beyond the next step. What challenges would rise up as he walked out in faith? Would he be prepared for each miraculous unfolding along the way? With hearts joined and hope ignited, they looked towards the horizon. And somewhere in Mark's spirit, the journey deepened and the mystery grew. As the echoes of affirmation faded into a sacred stillness, Mark felt a gentle nudge, a beckoning to take that first step. He turned to Emma, her eyes shining bright with an understanding only found in shared journeys. "What comes next?" he whispered, a mix of excitement and trepidation in his tone. "Let us go see," she replied, taking his hand with confidence. Together, they stepped forward, the familiar wooden floor creaking softly beneath their feet as they moved toward the open doors. The light outside was nearing dusk, golden rays cascading through the chapel windows, bathing them in warmth. Each step felt like a promise, a commitment to explore the truths awaiting them beyond the sacred walls. Outside, the world hummed with life. Laughter of children playing, the distant sound of someone strumming a guitar, and the gentle rustle of leaves filled the air with beauty. Yet, inside Mark, uncertainty held a tight grip. Would this moment lead him to his purpose? "Mark," Emma spoke softly as they walked down the path. "Remember that faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting as you go." Her voice was a lifeline, encouraging and steady. "Trusting," he echoed, contemplating the depth of her words. Could he truly trust when so much felt unsettled within him? Suddenly, a figure caught his eye, an elderly man sitting on a bench under a sprawling oak tree. Something about the man radiated peace. The sun cast a halo-like glow around him, illuminating wrinkles etched from years of wisdom. Mark felt drawn, unable to resist. "Shall we?" Emma nodded toward the man, sensing the same pull. As they approached, the man looked up, his eyes twinkling as if they held the secrets of a universe. "Good evening, young souls," he greeted, his voice gravelly yet warm. "What guidance are you seeking on this fine day?" Mark's heart raced. "I just started a journey of faith. I want to understand what I need to do next." The man leaned forward, his gaze penetrating. "Ah, the journey of faith is like a river, ever flowing and shifting. It requires you to be open to be vulnerable. Only then can the true gifts of faith unfold." "What gifts?" Mark asked, his curiosity piqued. "The gifts that reveal your purpose," the man replied, the sunlight glinting off his silver hair. "They will come to you through moments of surrender and bravery, in acts of kindness and love. Treasure the whispers of your heart. They will often lead you where you need to be." Mark nodded slowly. The man's words spread warmth through him, igniting something deep within a flicker of hope and anticipation. But the elderly man continued, his tone now serious. "Beware. The path will not be without trials. Obstacles are often blessings in disguise, teaching patience and resilience." "Obstacles?" Emma wondered, a frown knitting her brow. "Yes," the man said, shifting slightly as if to emphasize his point. "They sharpen your faith. Each challenge is a stepping stone to deeper understanding." The trees swayed, and a gentle breeze carried the musty scent of earth and blooming flowers. Mark imagined himself facing challenges, his heart racing at the thought. Would he be strong enough? "I believe in you both," the old man said, reading the uncertainty in their expressions. "But the true question is, are you ready to embrace that journey, doubts and all? To be unsheltered and raw in your pursuit of truth?" Mark's breath caught as he contemplated this. Embrace the challenges? Lean into the discomfort? A myriad of questions flooded his mind, each heavier than the last. "I think so," he stammered. But the uncertainty still lingered like the shadow of a storm cloud. "Then take heart." The man smiled, and it felt as though light had burst through the clouds. "With every step you take, God's grace will guide you. Intention, love, and trust will be your companions. And in that journey, reality may exceed your wildest expectations." With that, the man's figure seemed to shimmer in the golden light, grounded yet ethereal, a reminder that divine moments are often cloaked in mystery. As he faded into the backdrop of the evening, Mark stood transfixed, feeling the weight of the world meet the lightness of hope all at once. What if he began, a thought trailing off? "What if what?" Emma asked, her brows furrowing in concern. "What if this journey unveils a plan greater than we ever imagined?" "Then let us be ready," she replied. "Let us trust the process and see where it leads." And as they resumed their walk, Mark's heart raced anew with a strange blend of fear and excitement. A journey of miracles awaited, and he couldn't shake the sense that divine revelation was stirring just ahead. Mark and Emma continued down the sun-drenched path, a mixture of trepidation and hope surging through Mark's veins. The golden light filtered through leaves above them, each ray seeming to carry whispers of what lay ahead. As they walked, a sense of purpose began to unfurl within Mark, like a bloom awakening to the warmth of the sun. "I wonder what those gifts will look like," he mused aloud, his thoughts spilling into the air. "How we recognize them?" Emma squeezed his hand, her grip reassuring. "Maybe it's about paying attention to the small things. Sometimes, the simplest moments can hold the most profound truths, and it requires a heart willing to notice." Mark nodded, considering her words. They passed by families gathering for evening picnics, their laughter mingling with the chirping of crickets. Each sound resonated with life, tangible joy that seemed almost sacred. He understood, at that moment, That faith had a rhythm, a melody intertwined with the experiences that colored their lives. Suddenly, a shout broke through their thoughts. Mark, Emma. A familiar figure raced toward them, a girl with bright red hair and a glowing smile. Mia, a childhood friend. "Hey, Mia," Mark called, waving. "Are you two okay?" she asked, breathless with excitement. "You're glowing. Did something happen in the chapel?" "A bit," Mark replied, heart lightened by her enthusiasm. "We're just on a journey." "Journey? Like an adventure?" Mia's eyes sparkled. "Can I come?" Emma looked at Mark, a knowing smile on her lips. "Why not? The more, the merrier, right?" Together, they resumed their walk with Mia joining them, blending the energy of youth with the promise of discovery. "So what's this journey about?" Mia asked curiously. "It's about faith," Mark explained, searching for the right words. "Trying to understand our purpose and embracing whatever comes our way." Mia's brow furrowed, contemplating. "So, it might get tough sometimes?" "Exactly," Mark said, feeling the weightiness of the challenge for the first time. "We're supposed to embrace those tough times too." As if the universe itself was listening, a sudden gust of wind swept through the trees, rustling their branches and sending a shower of leaves dancing through the air. "Whoa, did you feel that?" Mia exclaimed, laughing as she twirled amidst the falling leaves, joy radiating from her every move. "It's like the world is celebrating," Emma added, her voice brightening. Mark smiled, the innocence of their laughter wrapping around him like a gentle embrace. It was a reminder that sometimes joy surfaces even amidst uncertainty, and that faith could be found in these shared moments. Just then, they rounded a bend and saw a meadow ahead, bathed in the fading golden light. The sight took Mark's breath away. Wildflowers swayed in the breeze, and at the center stood a magnificent oak tree, its branches reaching toward the heavens. While Mia breathed, the awe evident in her voice. "Let us go sit under it," Emma suggested, pulling them toward the tree. As they approached, Mark felt an inexplicable warmth emanate from the trunk, as if the ancient oak held centuries of wisdom within its fibers. They settled beneath its majestic canopy, the world around them softening into the background. Mark leaned back against the rough bark and closed his eyes for a moment, allowing the serenity to wash over him. "Do you feel like something is about to happen?" he finally said, opening his eyes. "I do," Mia replied, biting her lip in anticipation. "Like this moment is special." "Maybe it is," Mark pondered, the stillness heavy with expectation. What if this is where we discover our first gift?" Emma suggested. The idea sparked something within him. Was this the moment of revelation they had been hoping for? Then it struck him. But what if we're just getting started? The question hung in the air, simple yet profound, a tapestry of endless possibilities woven into the very fabric of their shared journey. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the first stars began to twinkle above them, a gentle reminder that the night would carry mysteries yet untold. Mark felt goosebumps on his arms. A sense of destiny loomed large on the horizon. "What is ahead?" Mia whispered, her voice barely above a breath. Mark could only smile, knowing deep down that every step they took from this moment forward would shape who they were to become. And as the stars sparkled, it felt as if something monumental awaited them, something that might change everything. The whispers of the evening drew close, wrapping around them like a warm blanket. Beneath the great oak tree, the trio sat enveloped in the golden glow of twilight. Mark could sense the earth's heartbeat, a rhythm that felt both familiar and divine. It made his thoughts swirl what gifts were waiting for them beyond this moment. The air was thick with anticipation, each rustling leaf an invitation to listen. What if the gifts are lessons we learn together? Emma ventured, her brow furrowing in contemplation. The idea struck Mark again, like a soft chime echoing in a still chapel. Lessons including joy and challenges, he added, feeling the weight of truth in his words. Their journey held the promise of growth, a way to learn from each other as they uncovered the depths of their faith. A gentle breeze lifted, carrying with it the scent of wildflowers. Mia leaned forward, a flicker of excitement in her eyes. What essay lesson you'd like to learn? Mark pondered. Courage. Facing fears head-on. That essay big one, Mia exclaimed, her body swaying as she grasped the enormity of the idea. What if we start by trying something new right now? What do you mean? Emma asked, intrigued. Let us close our eyes and listen, Mia suggested eagerly. I mean, really listen. Maybe we'll hear something special. Agreeing, they closed their eyes, succumbing to the cool evening air that felt almost alive. As silence enveloped them, the world around them faded, and an unexpected peace fell upon Mark's heart, filling every crevice with warmth. He found himself breathing in sync with the universe. The sounds of life continued, crickets chirping, a distant owl hooting, and the leaves whispering secrets to one another. Then there was a soft vibration that seemed to hum through everything, a divine melody stirring from within. What do you hear? Emma whispered, her voice delicate, fragile as the evening light. I think Mark hesitated, feeling something profound course through him. I think I hear hope. A shiver ran through Mia, and Mark could feel her joy radiating beside him. Hope? That's amazing. It's like there's a promise in the air. Exactly. I can feel it. It's like we're all part of something much bigger, Emma said, her voice lifting with awareness. Mark opened his eyes, staring into the silhouette of the oak branches against the burgeoning night sky. But what does that mean for us? The three of us? We're not just sitting here, we're part of the story. As if acknowledging their inquiry, the wind surged around them, playfully tugging at their clothes. The leaves rustled in response, almost as if the universe was inviting them into the next chapter of their lives. I think it's about exploration, Mark said, a surge of conviction swelling inside him. Facing the unknown while staying rooted in faith. Mia's eyes sparkled in the fading light. Let us explore together then. Let us be brave. Yes. Together, Emma affirmed, gripping their hands. Their bond felt as sturdy as the trunk beneath them, rich with history, yet brimming with the promise of new beginnings. As they looked into each other's eyes, an unspoken understanding flowed. Amongst them, this journey was divinely ordained, and it was just the beginning. Drawing in one last breath of scented evening air, Mark felt something shift within him, a stirring of purpose that urged him into the unknown. Do you think we're ready? He wondered aloud, glancing at his friends. Both nodded, their expressions illuminated by the shared resolve that hung in the air. With hearts full of faith and minds open to the extraordinary, they stood together, facing the vast world ahead. As dusk deepened into night, Mark had the unmistakable feeling this was only the first step into something magnificent. What would the stars reveal next? What awaited them right around the corner? His heart raced with possibility, and as they moved under the watchful gaze of the moon, he couldn't shake the sense that divine wonders were waiting to unfold. The stars twinkled like countless eyes in the night sky, sparkling with unuttered promises and dreams yet to be discovered. Mark led the way, a small sense of awe growing in his chest as he stepped away from the safety of their oak. The path before them felt uncharted, illuminated only by the soft glow of the moon overhead. Mia walked closely beside him, her presence like a flame kindling his courage. Do you really think we can discover something important tonight? Her voice held a blend of excitement and trepidation. I believe we can, Mark replied, a warmth spreading through him. Every step we take, no matter how small, is part of our journey. God has a way of unveiling truths when we search for them. Emma fell in a step behind them, her fingers lightly brushing against the cool grass. I think we've already started finding answers. Hope is here with us. It feels like a guiding light. As they moved deeper into their exploration, the air around them thrummed with energy, wrapping them in an embrace full of potential. Each rustle of the grass, each chirp of the crickets, echoed with the heartbeat of the earth. Mark felt a profound connection, as if nature itself was responding to their resolve. Just ahead, a small clearing revealed itself, moonlight spilling in like a silvery waterfall. It was a serene oasis surrounded by tall, swaying grasses that danced gently in the evening breeze. Mark gestured toward it, urging his friends to step into the luminous space. "Look at how beautiful it is," Mia exclaimed, her voice bubbling with delight. "We really are part of something grand." They gathered in the center of the clearing, and for a moment, silence fell upon them again. They could feel the energy of nature flowing through their spirits, a sacred bond of creation, a whisper of divine belonging. "Let us take a moment," Emma suggested. "Let us close our eyes and just feel this." She squeezed their hands, grounding them together. Upon closing his eyes, Mark forgot the world around him. Instead, he focused inward, tuning into the calm whispers of his heart. Was it hopefully felt? Or was it now anticipation, mingled with faith? A thought pierced through the stillness. What if they were called to do something in this moment? He opened his eyes and glanced toward Mia and Emma. Their expressions mirrored his own curiosity mixed with wonder. "What do you think we should do?" he asked, the weight of expectation framing his words. "Maybe we should pray," Mia said softly. "Ask for clarity on what we're supposed to do next." "Yes," Emma nodded vigorously. "Let us invite the presence of the Lord into this moment." Fueled by their collective faith, they formed a small circle, unhindered by anxiety or second-guessing. They joined hands once more, their trust in each other sealing the circle of connection. "Lord," Mark began, his voice steady, "we know that tonight is special. Guide us toward the lessons and adventures you have in store for us. Help us listen and be brave." As they prayed, a gentle rustle swept through the leaves above, as if even the trees were listening. Mark couldn't help but look upwards, marveling at the moon casting its serene light upon their sacred gathering. Then the air shifted. Something stirred a current of electricity that prickled the hairs on the back of his neck. He opened his eyes. Light danced along the edges of the clearing as shadows twisted playfully, almost as if beckoning them forward into a greater revelation, daring them to step deeper into the unknown. "What is happening?" Mia murmured, her eyes wide in wonder. "I don't know, but it feels incredible," Mark whispered, sensing that they were on the brink of a significant discovery. He felt a divine pull, an undeniable invitation rising up from the very depths of the earth. What awaited them in the darkness ahead? How much further were they being asked to venture? The air was thick with mystery as they stood united, hearts beating as one. "Let us take that next step," Emma urged, her voice a combination of thrill and reverence. And with that, they dared to move forward, trusting in the adventure that awaited just beyond what they could see. As the trio stepped deeper into the clearing, the world breathed with them. The trees whispered encouragement while the silver moon illuminated their path like a spotlight on destiny. Mark felt a thrill rush through him. This was more than just a walk. It was a sacred journey weaving them into the fabric of divine purpose. "Do you feel that?" Emma's voice chimed with excitement. "It's like the very air is alive." "It is alive," Mia echoed, spinning in circles as laughter danced on her lips. Each twirl felt like casting away a weight that had clung to their hearts. "This is magic." Mark couldn't help but grin. The magic was real. He could feel it, too, an invisible thread connecting them to something greater, something beautiful and overwhelming. "Let us keep moving forward," he urged, and they pressed on, surrendering their thoughts and fears to the night. As they ventured onward, the energy shifted, drawing them toward the heart of the clearing where the grass seemed to thrum beneath their feet. An inexplicable urge tugged at Mark, compelling him to kneel. "Here," he breathed, lowering himself to the earth, joined closely by Emma and Mia. What began as a humble gathering now transformed into a sacred moment, encircled by a divine embrace. "What are we supposed to do, Lord?" He silently prayed. Suddenly, a gust of wind enveloped them, swirling around, rustling the long blades of grass, carrying with it the scent of night blooms. Within that tender moment, silence deepened. It felt as if all of creation held its breath in anticipation. Then, a gentle voice broke the stillness, resonating within their hearts rather than through their ears. "Release your fears." Embrace the gifts ahead of you. Mark's heart raced. Did you hear that? He asked, his brows furrowing in revelation. Yes, I did, Mia exclaimed, her eyes shining with wonder. The warmth of the divine caress cloaked them more tightly as they instinctively led their hands to their hearts, united in surrender. What do we need to release? Emma whispered, looking at each of their faces, a beautiful tapestry of belief woven with threads of question and trust. Maybe our fears, Mark offered. Doubt has held me back for so long. I'm ready to let it go. Me too. Mia joined in, the zeal obvious in her voice. I want to shed everything that tells me I can't believe. Then Emma added, her tone soft yet powerful, and let us give thanks for the journey. We are on the brink of something incredible. As they spoke their intentions aloud, an incredible energy pulsed through the air, igniting an electric connection among them. It was the Holy Spirit guiding their hands to raise them in tandem, surrendering their fears and offering up their gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for the gifts you are bringing into our lives, Mark called, his voice bold and filled with conviction. They echoed him, their voices intertwining in a harmonious display of faith that vibrated with unearthly grace. The wind picked up again, swirling around the clearing, carrying their offerings higher. Within moments, a serene glow materialized at the center of their circle, dancing like fireflies weaving luminous patterns. What is that? Mia asked, her voice a breathless whisper filled with awe. I think it's a sign, Emma breathed, captivated by the light. Mark's heart thudded with joyful realization. It's a manifestation of our unity in faith, our willingness to embrace each other and God's grace. We're loved and guided. The glow expanded, pulsating now as it drew closer, bursting with colors that reflected the spectrum of their soul's hope, joy, courage, and love. They sat transfixed, feeling it wash over them like a mighty flood, erasing every doubt that previously clouded their hearts. Embrace the gift of faith, the gentle voice murmured once more, echoing softly from the light. And in that moment, clarity broke through the shadows, unveiling wisdom nestled in uncertainty. Mark's heart soared, emboldened by what lay ahead. We will embrace everything that comes, won't we? He smiled at his friends, his spirit ignited and unwavering. Yes, together, they chimed, feeling the atmosphere thrum with possibility. From that clearing, an understanding began to blossom. Every encounter they had, every trial they faced would be not just a challenge, but a precious opportunity to grow. With hope lighting their path and faith as their anchor, they looked to the horizon, ready for whatever the journey held. As they rose, the light engulfed them, its warmth merging with the chill of the evening air. And as they shared a joyful embrace, the world around them fell away, and they were left with a singular truth the night had gifted them the grace of true connection, the foundation upon which they would build their faith-filled futures. Let us keep moving, Mark shouted, an exuberance bubbling within him. The stars are our only limit. Lead the way. Emma cheered, her spirit alive. Mia danced beside them, laughter soaring into the night sky, carrying the sound of unbound joy, stringing together the threads of their shared adventure. As they ventured forth into the shimmering expanse, they felt undeniably alive, woven together in a tapestry of faith, ready to discover the depths of love and grace awaiting them. Hand in hand, they stepped into the embrace of the night together, embarking on a journey that would forever change their hearts and their lives. Now, brothers and sisters, this is your moment. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that ignite transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this powerful message far and wide. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending. Your words matter, and they could touch someone's heart. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. Don't wait even one more second to spread this hope. Let us rise together as servants of God,